The ghost earthquake that haunts the Pacific Northwest on a winter night in the year 1700. A colossal earthquake ruptured the coast of North America, from Vancouver Island to Northern California. No written records from the region survived to tell the tale. It was a ghost, a phantom event lost to time. For centuries, its existence was completely unknown, but the Earth and the ocean never forget. This is the story of how scientists uncovered a continent-shaking catastrophe, solved a 300-year-old mystery, and revealed a terrifying threat lurking just offshore. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 25 seconds. Our story begins not with a bang, but with a whisper, hidden in the silent rings of ancient trees. In the 1980s, geologists exploring the coastal forests of Washington and Oregon noticed something strange. They found entire groves of massive red cedars, long dead, standing like gray ghosts in tidal marshes. They called them
ghost forests.
What could have killed so many healthy, resilient trees all at once? The scientists dug into the mud beneath the trees and found the first clue. A layer of sand, clearly deposited by a tsunami, was burying the old forest floor. Beneath that, the soil had suddenly dropped by several feet. The evidence was clear. The land had abruptly subsided, flooding the forest with salt water, and was then buried by a massive wave. This could only mean one thing: a megaquake. 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 45 seconds. By studying the tree rings, a science called dendrochronology, researchers could pinpoint when these trees died. The outermost rings showed that the trees were alive and well during the growing season of 1699. But they never began to grow in the spring of 1700. This meant the earthquake had to have struck sometime between the autumn of 1699 and the spring of 1700. A winter megaquake. But when exactly? The trees couldn't tell them the exact day. The trail went cold, and the mystery deepened. Who could possibly have recorded an earthquake that happened in North America in 1700? An area with no written language at the time. The answer, incredibly, was waiting across the entire Pacific Ocean. 2 hours, 80 minutes, and 20 seconds in Japan. Scholars had meticulously documented their history for centuries, including natural disasters. Among these records were accounts of a strange event in January of 1700. All along the eastern coast of Japan, from Hokkaido to south of Tokyo, a mysterious tsunami rolled ashore. There was no shaking, no earthquake felt by anyone in Japan. It came without warning, flooding fields, damaging homes, and washing away rice paddies. The samurai, merchants, and villagers were baffled. They called it an orphan tsunami, because it had no parent earthquake. For nearly 300 years, the origin of this orphan tsunami remained a complete puzzle for Japanese historians. They knew it had to come from somewhere far away. But where? 310:05. This is where the two sides of the story, separated by 5,000 miles of ocean, finally connect. In the 1990s, a Japanese scientist named Kenji Satok heard about the American research on the ghost forests. He had a brilliant idea. What if the ghost forests of Cascadia and the orphan tsunami of Japan were caused by the same single, monstrous event? He and his team got to work, building sophisticated computer models. They plugged in the geological evidence from the American coast, the size of the fault line, the amount the land dropped. They simulated the tsunami that such an earthquake would generate. 4 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. The results were astonishing. The model predicted a massive wave, traveling across the Pacific, taking about 10 hours to reach Japan. The timing, the size of the waves, and the locations they hit in Japan matched the historical records almost perfectly. It was the smoking gun. By working backward from the Japanese accounts, which recorded the exact time the tsunami hit their shores, Sataka could calculate precisely when the earthquake must have occurred on the other side of the world. The verdict: the Great Cascadia earthquake struck around 9 p.m. Pacific time on January 26, 1700. The ghost finally had a name and a date. 4 hours, 50 minutes, and 15 seconds. So what exactly happened on that night? We're talking about the Cascadia subduction zone. This is a massive fault, stretching over 600 miles long, where the Juan de Fuca oceanic plate is being forced, or subducted, underneath the North American continental plate. For centuries, these two plates can become locked together. The North American plate gets squeezed and buckled upwards, storing up an incredible amount of energy, like a giant spring being compressed. In 1700, that spring snapped. The plates lurched past each other in a catastrophic failure. Geologists estimate the rupture released energy equivalent to a magnitude 9.0 earthquake, one of the most powerful the planet can produce. It's in the same league as the 2011 Japan earthquake and the 2004 Sumatra earthquake. La 5 y 46 and 12. The ground shaking would have been violent and would have lasted 4 minutes, not seconds. For the native peoples living along the coast, it must have been an unimaginable terror. Their oral traditions, passed down through generations, speak of a titanic struggle between a thunderbird and a whale, of the land shaking so violently people could not stand, and of a great wave that swept away entire villages in the night. For a long time, these were considered myths. But now, we know they are the eyewitness accounts of this very real cataclysm. These stories, once dismissed, became another crucial piece of the scientific puzzle, a human record of a geological event. 6 hours, 38 minutes, and 0 seconds. Immediately after the shaking stopped, the buckled edge of the North American plate, now released, rebounded. The seafloor was thrust upwards by many feet, displacing a staggering volume of water. This created the tsunami. A wall of water rushed outwards in 2 directions. To the west, it began its 10-hour journey to Japan, but to the east, it was only minutes away from the coast. A wave, perhaps 30 to 40 feet high or more in some places, would have crashed ashore, scouring the landscape clean 4 miles inland. This is what killed the ghost forests. This is what swept the coastal villages away. It was a complete geological reset of the coastline. 7 hours, 29 minutes, and 45 seconds. The discovery of the 1700 earthquake wasn't just about solving a historical mystery. It was a profound and sobering warning, because the Cascadia subduction zone is still active. The plates are locked, and the stress is building right now. Scientists know from digging trenches and studying sediment layers a field called paleoseismology that these megaquakes are not random. They happen in a cycle. By analyzing layers of sand and mud left by ancient tsunamis, they've found evidence for over 40 major earthquakes in the last 10,000 years. 8 hours, 23 minutes, and 0 seconds. It has now been over 320 years since the last one. We are officially within the window for the next big one. This isn't a question of if it will happen, but when. When it does, the consequences will be severe. Major cities like Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver are not directly on the fault, but they will experience intense, long-duration shaking that could cause widespread damage to buildings, bridges, and infrastructure. The real catastrophic threat, however, is on the coast. From Tofino in British Columbia down to Eureka in California. Communities will have only 15 to 30 minutes after the shaking stops before the tsunami arrives. 9 hours, 12 minutes, and 15 seconds. But here's the crucial part. Knowledge is power. The ghost earthquake of 1700 taught us what is possible. It revealed a threat that was hiding in plain sight. Because of this discovery, we now have tsunami warning systems. We have evacuation routes marked in coastal towns. Engineers are developing new building codes to make our structures more resilient. Geologists are deploying more sensors to monitor the slightest movements of the Earth. We are preparing. The story of the 1700 Cascadia earthquake is a chilling detective story written in tree rings, ancient mud, and samurai archives. It reminds us that the Earth is a dynamic and powerful planet, and that sometimes the greatest mysteries are buried right beneath our feet, and solving them can be the key to our survival. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the past fascinating, please like this video and subscribe for more stories from the crossroads of history and science. Stay curious.